Okay, so I haven't done an entry for quite some time now. So, what have I been doing? Okay, well, I went to Grimsby as my mum was having her operation for cancer. Um, as far as we know, it's gone as well as it possibly could have done. Mum was in hospital for a couple of nights, and hopefully, although the doctor said it can't be 100%, hopefully they've got it, and we just have to wait and see. But she's currently um, recovering as much as she can and taking it easy. Um, so there you go. It was a very, very difficult weekend, as you can imagine. But I was there with the family and stayed with my sister, and we got through it and stayed as positive as we could be, which is what you do in these situations. So yeah, that's cancer again. Cancer's always there, always going to be there, and something we all have to get to grips with, because we will always all meet somebody or know somebody who has cancer. In fact, I think the statistic is 1 in 3 people get cancer. So there you go. But anyway, I spent a whole weekend round at my sister's with them all smoking there, and it was quite tricky, I must admit. Although at the time didn't seem that hard. When I got home, that's when I realised it had been a difficult weekend. The journey back from Grimsby, obviously, I would have smoked quite a lot usually, as it's a 4.5, 5 hour journey. It breaks it up, keeps you awake, that kind of thing. But instead, I just had clementines and had something nice and juicy, which was nice actually. It was refreshing, and it definitely helped. But I was on my own travelling, so yeah, it was quite tricky not smoking. But to be honest with you, um, quite pleasant at the same time. I got home and I'd obviously been passive smoking because I had withdrawals again, serious withdrawals. I couldn't tell whether it was the fact that I was stressed out over everything that had happened with my mum or whether it was withdrawals from cigarettes. But um, I made up lots of things in my mind that I was pissed off about. When really, when it came down to it, I was just really upset and got quite angry. And then eventually realised that I was actually making these things up and to cover up what I was really upset about, and that was the fact that my mum's poorly with cancer, and the fact that I was withdrawing for cigarettes. It was very, very tricky. Went to Bournemouth at the weekend to see some friends. There was smoking going on in a different room, but it just came through to me all the time. It kind of, those times when you're sat around with people and you spend lots of time, but you just need 5 minutes to yourself. Didn't get those 5 minutes to myself. Not for any particular reason, not because anybody was doing anything that made me want those 5 minutes. Just, just to have it, for yourself. Um, it was hard not smoking. We went out for some drinks, and it was really hard then. Why can't I go and buy something just a little bit herbal that isn't going to affect me, so that I can have the action of smoking when everybody else is smoking, to relieve that alienation, the isolation of being a non-smoker with smokers. So it would have been nice if I could have done that. And I was in Bournemouth of all places, and no, could I else find anything? That was frustrating. But yeah, it was all quite hard. But at the end of the day, I got through it. I've been editing all of these diaries, and the time came to start putting them on YouTube and connecting it through the Facebook so everybody can see them. An issue came about. An issue of what can I put up there that isn't going to affect the rest of my life and the other people in my life. For example, what isn't going to affect the scenario of people at work knowing about my private life, or people in general knowing about my private life in regards to my wife and my friends and my family? How much can I say? How much should be censored when releasing something like this onto the internet? Whether I should do this or not is a violation of somebody's privacy, or whether I should have the freedom of speech to be able to do this. So I had to do a little bit of research because there became some opposition as to what it was that I was going to post. Anyway, somebody stopping me trying to do this would be violating lots of different rights. For example, the Bill of Rights from 1689, which granted freedom of speech in Parliament, and the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, which was adopted during the French Revolution in 1789, which specifically affirmed freedom of speech as an inalienable right. The Declaration provides for freedom of expression in Article 11, which states that the free communication of ideas and opinions is one of the most precious of the rights of man. Every citizen may, accordingly, speak, write, and print with freedom, but shall be responsible for such abuses of this freedom as shall be denied by law. Also, Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was adopted in 1948, states that everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media, regardless of frontiers. Article 10 of the European Convention on Human Rights, Article 13 of the American Convention of Human Rights, and Article 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. So anybody trying to stop me do this is in violation of my human rights. Freedom of speech is the freedom to speak freely without censorship or limitation, or both. The synonymous term freedom of expression is sometimes used to indicate not only freedom of verbal speech, but any act of seeking, receiving, and imparting information or ideas regardless of the medium used. So it seems that I have the freedom to do this and to put what I like up there, pretty much. Apart from, there is a right to privacy. And there is such a thing as hate speech, and there are other aspects which go against it. But the Athens democratic ideology of free speech may have emerged in the late 6th or early 5th century BC. So when you consider that, I should be able to, after all this time, put a few diaries up on the internet. But as with the right to freedom of expression, the right to privacy is a recognised human right. So there's obviously other things that I can't put on here when it's relating to other people, or other people's reactions to what I do, or other people's beliefs. I don't have the right just to say what I like. So this has been heavily censored. But I suppose in some degrees it's censored to so that I don't get myself in any trouble, but also that I don't reveal personal things about other people around me that haven't given me permission to do that. So yeah, it's brought up a whole subject. I feel that as an artist, I've had to struggle with this all my life. I'm a musician and I've been writing songs for years, but I've been unable to be completely honest and write what I want to write in case it affects other people around me, or affects my life because it's affecting other people around me. So really, as an artist, I'm constantly oppressed unless I want to risk being ostracised by the people around me and who I want to be around me. It's a very, very bizarre debate, really, which I never thought I'd have to come around thinking about. But yeah, freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and it's all crazy stuff. I thought I was just giving up smoking, but no, it's deep, man. It's deep. But I might come back to this at some point and speak to you again about it. So that's that. The only other thing left to tell you really is that I joined the gym. I've got an induction later on in the week, but I've been able to use the pool, the sauna, and the jacuzzi, which has been great. I've been twice. I did 30 lengths first time. I did 50 lengths last night, and then sat in the jacuzzi and the sauna, which obviously is detoxing me all the way, which is great. You know, instead of smoking, I'm releasing all the toxins in my body and getting fit, which is good. Because I went for a run the other night and my back completely seized up, and I got halfway round the circuit I was doing and I couldn't move. So I obviously have to do something else other than running. So yeah, that's been it's been crazy. It's been a crazy time. Um, but I'll tell you more when I can think of more things to tell you. So I'll see you soon. All right, bye. Oh, 2 more days and it'll be 6 weeks. There you go. Well, the beginning of 6 weeks anyway. So there you go.